B-flat major scale tone triads on strings 3, 2, 1. Here are the natural notes on the third string from B to B. B on the fourth fret to C is a half step. C to D is a whole step. D to E is a whole step. Then E to F is a half step. F to G a whole step. G to A, where the alphabet starts over, a whole step, and A to B, a whole step. For the B-flat major scale, the first to second step should be a whole step. B to C is a half step. So to correct this, flat the B, and you have B flat to C, whole step. So starting on B flat now, scale tones 1 to 2 are a whole step. 2 to 3, C to D are a whole step. 3 to 4 needs to be a half step, so D to E is too large an interval. The E needs to be flatted, so D to E flat are scale tones 3 to 4. Then scale tone 4 to 5 is a whole step. E to F would have been a half step here, but since the E is flat, scale tones 4 to 5 are a whole step. Then F to G is a whole step. G to A, a whole step. That was F to G tones 5 to 6, G to A 6 to 7, and then A to B flat is scale tones 7 to 8. Since the B is flat, 7 to 8 is a half step, as it should be. If B were natural, 7A would go up a whole step, but we need a half step. So it's scale tones 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, with half steps between 3, 4, and 7, 1. Oops, 7, 1. Harmonizing in thirds, this time a major third is this interval, barring or fretting on the same fret. This is caused by the change in tuning on the guitar, where in relation to the lower 4 strings, which are tuned at the 5th fret, the second string is tuned flat. It's tuned to the 3rd string at the 4th fret, so it's tuned 1 fret lower in relation to the 3rd string than each of the other strings. 3, 4, and 5 are tuned to the next larger string. Then at the 5th fret of the 2nd string, there's the same note as the 1st string open. So these 2 strings, the first 2 are tuned the same to one another relatively as these lower 3 pairs of strings. And the change then is here between the 3rd and 2nd string. So these lower 4 strings are tuned relatively the same to one another, and any intervals such as the 1st to 4th steps in a major scale would be the same on the 6th and 5th string, scale tones 1, 2, 3, 4 in this major scale, and relatively the same scale tones 1, 2, 3, 4 in this major scale, from 1 to 4 on the 5th and 4th strings, and the same 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 4th and 3rd strings. But to go to the 2nd string, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. The note in the 2nd string had to be moved up 1 fret to compensate for it being tuned lower by 1 fret. And since the 2nd and 1st string are tuned to one another relatively the same as the lower strings, the first 2 strings are in effect 1 fret flat in relation to the other strings. So this is a major third on the 3rd and 2nd string, whereas any other pair of strings, a major third would be fretted like this. So major thirds going up in the interval of a perfect 4th, this being a perfect 4th, would be fingered the same here, but when you hit the 3rd and 2nd string, they need to be on the 2nd fret. I mean on the same fret. And then here on the first 2 strings, they're fingered the same as the lower ones. I'm going up a fret here so that the interval of the root of each major third progresses up in the same interval, and it has to be compensated because the second string, again, is tuned flat. So this is a major third. That means, confusingly, this interval is a minor third on these strings, because a minor third has the upper note 1 fret lower than the lower note. On the lower strings, that same fingering would make a major third. So we have major thirds here, and then here we have a minor third. Whereas this is a major third on the same fret. Then on the first two strings, the minor third is back to this interval. But here, this is a minor third, and this is a major third. And this fingering is not a third at all, unless you want to call it a diminished third, which means it's a minor third made 1 fret smaller. But it's a second otherwise. A whole step interval. Here, this is the same pitch as this. 2 fret interval, 2 fret interval. But this 3 fret interval is a minor third, and this 4 fret interval is a major third. So the B flat major scale, harmonized in thirds, would be major third at 1. Remember, I'm counting from the third string. Major third at 1, minor third at 2 and 3, that's the C and the D. Then a major third at E flat and F, scale tones 4 and 5. Minor third at scale tone 6. Minor third at scale tone 7. And then major third up at scale tone 8 or 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 are major, minor, minor, major. And then 5, 6, 7, 1 are also major, minor, minor, major. Harmonizing in triads, this is a major triad on strings 3, 2, 1, and this is a minor one. Then the diminished one up at scale tone 7 will be the minor one with a flat 5, like this. So here you have the third string, B flat major, scale tone 1, C minor, scale tone 2, D minor, scale tone 3, up a half step to E flat major, scale tone 4, and whole step up to F major, scale tone 5, G minor, scale tone 6, and then A minor with a flat 5, A diminished, scale tone 7, and up a half step to B flat major, scale tone 1.